What's up, everybody? We haven't had a little sit-down chat about a lot of things in a while, and I guess no longer Merry Christmas, but Happy New Year. By the time that you're seeing this, it'll probably be 2025. I just wanted to kind of have a little chat about a lot of different things on the channel, mainly this guy right here, because I've been seeing quite a few comments and been getting messages and stuff on Instagram specifically about the TT and people asking about where the TT videos are, because as you know, I am focused a lot on the Q7, which is outside as of right now. There's a lot of reasons as to why I'm not really doing a whole lot on the TT as of right now, and those of you that do live in Vancouver or Western Canada more specifically may have seen that this thing is for sale, which might not be a shocker to some of you, but might also be a shocker to some of you that follow the channel for the TT specifically. Now, it's for sale for a whole bunch of different reasons, but the main large reason, number one, is I'm trying to use the money that I have in this car as of its resale value to buy my first home, which is kind of a big deal for me at my age, especially living in Vancouver. For any of you that understand how the real estate market is in Western Canada, it is horrible. So as much money as possible to put towards down payment is kind of important at this point. So that's kind of one of the big reasons why it's for sale. And then I guess the second one would be that this car is pretty much now, for lack of a better term, a legacy platform. I've reached out to not only Unitronic, who sponsored the tuning for this car originally, Tunezilla, who I work with very closely for all of the diesel stuff that I do with the Q7 and many of the other diesel vehicles that I've had, and some of my other cars have been tuned by them, and then some other names like Mabotech and some other people in Europe to see if, you know, we go any further than where we currently are at with this car, if someone will support tuning it. And the resounding answer to that question is no, that basically no one is willing to support tuning this engine anymore. So the EA113, as a lot of you know, has been around since, I want to say, about 2005 to 2006, when like the Mark V GTIs and that platform started coming out. It's a belt-driven 2-liter TFSI platform that started out in the GTI and is in the Mark VI Golf R, in the TTS, and a number of other vehicles in Europe, US, and whatever. And yeah, a lot of tuners just straight up don't want to mess around with this engine anymore, because one of the tuners I reached out to, that there's no point because of the potential that these engines have before you actually have to dump like $10,000 into them and do a whole bunch of stuff to actually make them very high performance. So this car, as of right now, in terms of what I can do and what any tuner is willing to do, is maxed out. Now, I know some of you could probably run to the comments and tell me a billion and one other things that I could do to this car that would be worth it for me to do, but as some of you understand, being content creators yourselves or watch other content creators, if we're doing small little random mods to this thing all the time, that's not really benefiting myself as a content creator to make stuff like that. And as much as I do enjoy this car, it's really fun to drive, but I've driven lots of vehicles that are equally, if not more, as fun, if that makes sense in proper English, which probably it didn't. But there are faster cars out there. There are other platforms I could be building. And going back to the whole wanting to buy my first home, once we have, for those of you that understand finance, equity, we can buy something that has a lot more potential than a Mark II TTS. So on the flip side of this, it's not like we're going to be getting rid of our fast car and our fun car to only have our slow Q7 off-roader. But that ultimately what I would like to do with the Q7, on top of it being an adventure vehicle and being able to do big long road trips and everything really comfortably, is to also tow a race car. So our game plan is at this point to get rid of the TT sooner than later. I had the car originally posted on, not Bring a Trailer, but the other one, Cars and Bids, I believe it's called, and that was a horrible experience because for some reason Cars and Bids doesn't value Canadian vehicles equally to American vehicles for some reason when you're trying to do your reserve pricing and a whole bunch of crap. And I could make a whole other video about my experience on Cars and Bids because it was not good. But yeah, it's just we did the whole thing. No one bought the car. It didn't hit the reserve. They wanted me to lower it. I had a couple people that were messaging me after the auction went live for this car, and it didn't end up going anywhere. I've now had the car listed for sale for on and off, I want to say maybe the last 5 or 6 months, and we have had a total of 2 people actually show up to look at it. One of them was someone that was buying it for their kid who scammed me into getting it inspected at Audi and left me with the bill, and then I was dumb and didn't take a deposit, so it's kind of my fault on that one. And then one person who came and looked at it and then proceeded to ask me 1,000,000,001 questions for like 3 weeks and then fell off the face of the earth. So if you live in Vancouver or Western Canada or something and you find the ad for this and you want to buy it, go for it. It is for sale. It's coming with everything that I've done to the car on it. I have stock parts and stuff, but that's the game plan. Now, to address kind of what I was talking about in terms of maybe buying something a little bit more expensive and a different platform. This is my first TT. I have driven 8N TTs, I've driven 8S TTs, TTRSs, and that kind of thing. And I really do like the two-door. I don't have any reason to need a sedan at this point. And I know obviously there are 150 bajillion people on the planet that have Golf Rs, so I'm not going to be buying another 4-cylinder, whether that be a fully done up EA113 or an EA888 or an EA888 Evo in the new Mark 8 Golf R, because I'm honestly not a huge fan. But I think we will be going for something with a few more cylinders, or at least maybe one more cylinder. And that's kind of what we're leaning towards now. But in order to do that, this has to be gone. I have to get a home, and then we have to basically have the equity in order to go into a bank and be like, hello, may I has this vehicle? So that's where we're at. I mean, I still have the car. It's still insured. I still kind of like drive it around once in a while just to make sure things are working. I know some of you have seen the video where I talked about all the like weird little things that were going wrong with this car, and like, aside from me making videos about like big stuff that I'm doing, I've spent so much time and money and resources screwing around with this car and not making videos about it. And this thing is absolutely mint now, but it's just at the point where it's like, I can't make it any faster with the help of anybody. The more I drive it, the more it's gonna go up in kilometers and less it's gonna be worth. It's a Samoa orange car, which is fairly rare apparently for this well, any car, but this platform specifically. I'm also afraid of crashing it while I'm trying to sell it, so it just kind of continues to sit here. So let me know down in the comments if you guys have any suggestions for what you would like to see replace the TT on the channel. Like I said, if you are in the market and you would like to own a piece of YouTube history, I'm just kidding. If you would like to own this TTS, I do have it for sale on Auto Trader, I think, and Facebook Marketplace if you can find it. So it's there and it's mint. It's ready to go. It needs a new home, and we need to move on and work on some new platforms and make a significantly faster car. I'm thinking the next one needs to be able to do 1,000 horsepower, because that's the only way that we're going to continue growing the channel, is if we actually build something really cool instead of just trying to help you guys build your cars. But yeah, without me yapping about for another 20-ish minutes like I've done now with all the random crap I've been saying about this car and what I have going on, Happy New Year, 2025. I don't know if by the time I'll post this I'll be at 10,000 subs, but if I am, thank you very much. We'll make a whole other video about that if we do hit 10,000 before I post this video, which likely will not happen, but we're gonna try. So thank you if we have hit it and I haven't made the video yet. That'll do it. This is the TT. It's still here, hasn't gone anywhere yet, unless some company watches this and wants to help me put a VR6 turbo in here and wide body it, then maybe. But I don't think any large companies with that kind of pocket expenditure is gonna look at my little YouTube channel and say, hell yeah, brother, let's do it. But yeah, there you go. So anyways, that'll do it for this video and my rambling. So peace out. Thanks again for 10,000 if we're there, and if not, we will see you eventually then, there, whatever. Peace out. I'll see you in the next one.